There is a hidden history that's been deliberately obfuscated from the peoples of the world, and that's why I am on the trail of a NEPHILIM.
The Genesis 6 narrative states that the Nephilim are on the earth in those days and also afterwards. If that's true, can we find evidence that corroborates this? I'm L.A. Marzulli. Join me as we go on the trail of a NEPHILIM.
My story today, my lead story today, basically disclosure. It's happening in Washington, D.C. Who would have thunk? I've been banging this drum, folks, for decades, and we'll get into that and so much more. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor, BioTrust. Check this out. Studies have revealed that our appearance affects our mental health. The anti-aging industry has tried to capitalize on that for decades. Unfortunately, many of the anti-aging products out there fall short. This is because most of the serums and supplements out there don't target the source of the problem. That's why I'm such a huge fan of multi-collagen. Multi-collagen works to quickly restore youthfulness back to your skin. It helps by combating loose skin and wrinkles and does this quicker and more effectively than anything else. Imagine how good your skin will look this summer with taking it. If you want to look and feel your best, grab some multi-collagen today. Get up to 51% off for the next 24 hours only by going to healthwithla.com. That's healthwithla.com, or by visiting a link below. Before we get into the show, I will be in Colorado this coming weekend. We're leaving on Thursday. Can't wait to see the 850 plus people who are going to be there. Live streaming is available, 888-722-0008. It's the gathering of our tribe. If you've got a story to tell and you want to come on Supernatural Confrontation, I'm bringing my camera gear. So we'll do something and set things up and do interviews with people. I am looking for people that have been abducted because we want to use that in one of our disclosure films. So please keep that in mind. The following weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I will be at UFO Symposium, UFODisclosureSymposium.com, UFO Disclosure Symposium in Vernal, Utah. I speak on Sunday morning, right after my good friend Jaime Masson. I hope to see you there. Folks, it's happening Tuesday, May 17th. House Intelligence, Counterterrorism, Counterintelligence, and Counterproliferation Subcommittee to hold open hearing on unidentified aerial phenomena. If you watch part 2 of UFO Disclosure, all right, there's a part in the film where I'm sitting down with Francisco Carrera. Francisco is head of Exopolitics Portugal. And I say, well, what do you think your next step is? And this is filmed in 2019. I'm just now getting to it. That's how backlogged we are. And Francisco looks right at the camera and goes, it's going to be about the threat. I'm concerned about the threat. So here we are, May 17th, and there it is. It's happening. U.S. Congress to question Pentagon on UFOs. The House Intel Committee will hold its first public hearing on unexplained aerial phenomena in 50 years. Let me stop right there. Notice that they don't call it UFOs, unidentified flying objects, because that has bad press. It's been that way for like 70 years since Roswell. Oh, you believe in UFOs? Well, you must be a tinfoil hat conspiracy guy. Not so much anymore, all right? So they just changed the verbiage, unidentified aerial phenomena, and somehow that's okay. Key lawmaker warns at UFO hearing unidentified aerial phenomena are a potential national security threat. Here's the deal. They already know. The congressmen don't know because they're there for 4, 8, 16, that's why we need term limits, but I digress. They're there for a period of time and then they're gone. The powers that be have been entrenched and continue to be entrenched. Doesn't matter who's in the White House. They continue with their agenda, in my opinion. They know exactly who it is that they're dealing with. There's no doubt in anybody's mind. the further up your ladder you go. We've had whistleblowers come forward and tell us that they work side by side with the Greys. What are you supposed to do with information like that? Moving right along, Congress is holding its first UFO hearing in more than 50 years. This is the Fox News. And of course, they kind of play it tongue-in-cheek, take me to your leaders. I no longer have any confidence in Fox News. This is what they do. Folks, when they show up, everything changes, and you have to understand that. And I talk about this in our free film. It's on YouTube right here. If you open up the text box below, you'll see UFO disclosure link number 1, UFO disclosure link number 2. You can watch them for free. We are working on 3, 4, 5, and 6 as I speak. Okay? So this is Take Me to Your Leaders, right? You know, they never treat it seriously. All those little green men are back, really? Congress holds first public hearing on UFOs in 50 years. Probe possible national security threat. So that is the underlying, in bold, right in your, it's a threat. We got to do something about this. Who are these? Who are these pesky aliens? I'll tell you exactly who they are. A skull and bones type vibe. Spy agencies grapple with how much to share at UFO hearing. They've been briefed well in advance, folks. It's just a dog and pony show. One big dog and pony show. They might trickle out some new information. Maybe we'll actually see a black and white or a color photo of the so-called Roswell crash. Wouldn't that be interesting? However, basically, I think it's going to be a nothing burger. We're not going to really hear anything that we haven't heard before. Certainly anything that I've been talking about literally for decades, warning that this is the coming great deception. Now it's here. Not quite yet, but it's being unveiled as we speak. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. The word cleave, this comes from Jim Williamson's research. He was in one of our Watchers shows. And Jim looked up that word cleave, and it's the same exact word that we get way back in Genesis, where a man cleaves to his wife. It's like a marriage contract. We know that in the days of the NEPHILIM, and that's why the show is called On the Trail of the NEPHILIM, because we're on the trail. Because the whole UFO phenomena and the NEPHILIM, they dovetail together. They link together. There's no, it's the same source, in my opinion. It's exactly the same source. And we all know what that source is, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. So the NEPHILIM, during the NEPHILIM, they took wives in the days of Noah. They took wives, multiple. And I talk about this, shameless plug here, I'll hold it up, but there it is, counter move. What are you waiting for? Go online and order it. How the NEPHILIM returned after the flood. This thing took 2 years to write, and the warfare around it was through the roof. But I digress. But they took wives, multiple. Jesus warns us it'll be like the days of Noah when he returns. Well, it doesn't mean it's going to be exactly like the days of Noah, but it'll be similar. This is where we are. How do I know that? Because what we see is the seed, the mingling of the seed. Goes back to Genesis 3:15. And if we don't understand Genesis 3:15, then we really don't understand the rest of our Bibles. Because when we get to passages like this in Daniel 2:43, we got, what seed are they talking about? Well, it goes back to the seed of the dragon. Will be at enmity with the seed of the woman. He, the one coming from the woman, the seed of the woman, will crush the dragon's head. That happened at Calvary 2,000 years ago. And that's where everything shifts. They're no longer taking women as wives, not doing that anymore. Not doing that. So the whole paradigm shifts, and we get the modern day abduction phenomenon. And of course, combined with that, we get the hybrids, the hybrid beings. We've had people on our show, and we'll do another episode tomorrow, supernatural confrontations. We're doing supernatural confrontations Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here. Tuesday and Thursday is basically designated for On the Trail of the NEPHILIM. Folks, it's happening. It's time to wake up. Hybrids are walking amongst us. That's what Dr. David Jacobs believes, and I believe that with all my heart. It goes back to the prophecy. And here's something for you skeptics. Look at this prophecy. This thing is written 2,500 years ago, thereabouts, and yet it's completely applicable to the modern era that we find ourselves living in. So what do you do with that, folks? Think about it. What do you do with that? Because Daniel, seal up the words in this book until the latter days. Men will run to and fro over the face of the earth, and knowledge will increase. Guess what? Men and women run to and fro over the face of the earth, and knowledge increases exponentially. All of a sudden, the book of Daniel is now open, which is why we're talking about it. The seed, they shall mingle themselves. Who are they? It's not the seed of men, because they're mingling their seed with the seed of men. What do we get? We get this. It's happening. It's absolutely happening. Does Congress know? Most of Congress has no idea what they're dealing with. The higher-ups, these guys right here, oh yeah, they know. The higher-ups know. They know exactly who it is. They know what's going on a deep underground military bases that Congress never gets to see because it's all funded by dark money. Not making this stuff I wish I was. Folks, if you've not seen our film series, Lost Civilization is number 7 in the On the Trail of a NEPHILIM, please go to our website, lamarzulli.net. Shameless plug here, I get it. But that's how we keep the lights on. And if you've not seen these you can if you want to binge watch them, you can go to our Ustream channel, which is streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net, and avail yourselves of all 7 of the films. Remember, UFO Disclosure Part 1 and Part 2 are available on YouTube. Now, I'm giving it up. Why? Because this information is way too important. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be for sale only. We got to make some money here, okay? I mean, if I was a millionaire and I'm not, I would be putting all this stuff out for free. So I'm not going to apologize anymore. Thank you for contributing to what we do. You know, we get emails from people every single day thanking us for what we do. And of course, now with the new show, Supernatural Confrontation. By the way, if you've got a story, if you want to share that story, and I pray that you will share that story, come on the record. Shoot me an email. We've changed the email. It's supernatural@lamarzulli.net. Supernatural@lamarzulli.net. Why? Because we've got 200 unanswered testimonies. We're just getting to it now. Please be patient. We will get to you. We will get to you. Some of the stories are chilling. Some of them are so uplifting, it's incredible. Anyway, folks, that's all the time I have for tomorrow. We'll be back with another episode of Supernatural Confrontations, as well as Politics, Prophecy, and the Supernatural Report. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, we'll see you on the air or in the air.